silver was like $1.30 an ounce. And gold was, I believe, $270 an ounce. So if you kind of look at it today and extrapolate where it is today, you know, could it hit that 8,000 mark?
I know nothing about this system. I don't know how it works. Can you explain to me, how does a pawn shop work? What happens? What's the day-to-day?
Sure. So day-to-day, we wear many hats. So we're a retailer like no other business that carries luxury handbags that are all affordable, authentic, and guaranteed. We also have jewelry, coins, newer electronics. So that's the standard, and that's available for sale. We also offer a service where we do short-term cash loans. So if somebody needs immediate cash for whatever reason it be, get a flat tire and they just need a couple $100 immediately, they can come in here with an item of value, get a loan on it, take care of what they need to take care of, and then come back within 4 months and 10 days and pick their item back up.
And so that's the part that I never understood. You're holding their item.
Correct.
And then what happens in that window? Are you able to sell that item if you want to, or what happens?
No, sir. We are just a custodian of that item. We hold that item. The title still stays in the person's name, the pledger's name, unless they choose not to pick that item up. So at the end of 4 months, we'll send out a registered letter to them. We'll also send out a text if they prefer, or an email, and telling them that the loan has come into the 10-day period. And so within 10 days, they have 3 choices. They can come in, pay the amount that they borrowed, plus the small interest and charges, pick their item up, or they could just pay the interest and charges, sign off the old contract and get a new contract, giving them another 4 months and 10 days, or they can choose to leave the item. Now, this is an interesting part. So if they choose to leave the item, it's what's called a non-recourse loan. So in doing so, it doesn't affect their credit, doesn't affect their TRW, any of their FICO scores or anything of that nature. They have chosen to leave the item, and that item then is our responsibility to liquidate it in whatever shape, way, and form to then take care of that debt. But it doesn't affect their credit in any way. But so to answer your question, while it's in here, we are protecting that item, holding that item, and then for their return.
And how, when you say a loan, who determines the interest rate? Is that each individual pawn shop can determine their own interest rate on the loan, or how does that work?
No, sir. So that's again where the stereotypes come into pawn shops. Each state regulates the interest rate that you can charge. Okay, so up to $2,500, California has its tiers of what they can charge on the interest rate. So that's not up for us. Anything $2,500 and over is then negotiable between me and the pledger. Okay, so a loan is also synonymous, the name, to a pawn. So when somebody comes to get a loan, they're getting a pawn. So that's when you hear somebody say they're pawning something, they're getting a loan on that item. Now, the other thing is that when they get the loan, and if they choose not to pick it up, then that's called a default or an expired loan. And another misconception is that everybody defaults. Like most people must be defaulting on their loans.
Yeah.
There's statistics like in our shop here, statistically only between 5 and 10% of our customers ever choose to even leave their item. If they wanted to, we ask them at the very beginning, would you like to sell this item? Or would you like to get a loan and pawn it? So if they would like to sell it, they'll typically get somewhere between 10 to 30% more money if they sold it outright. If they get a loan on it, then it's going to be a little bit less because we have to hedge for different volatility in the market. So like if we're looking at something like this, like if they're getting a loan on a 1 ounce, Panda gold coin, we don't know where the gold market's going to be. So you're going to loan a little bit less on that, and that person's going to come back and pick it up. So that's a big, again, negative stereotype that everybody who comes in is going to lose their items, and it's not true.
And while you just teased us with the gold panda,
yes,
I'm assuming you do some gold and silver business with people bringing in precious metals.
We do.
So, what do you have an idea of a ballpark of like what percentage of people are bringing in precious metals for pawn?
Sure. So that's another one of the hats that we wear. So we are also a coin dealer. So we deal in precious metal and coins as well. So that can come in many different forms. It could come in gold chains. It can come in bullion gold coins. It could come on vintage $20 gold pieces. Silver dollars. And then here's the gold. So percentage wise, I don't have the percentage for you because it's all mixed in. But we a large portion of our business is dealt in precious metals because most of the time the jewelry is going to be sterling silver 925. It's going to be gold. And then there's different factors of trying to figure out now on the jewelry, you have the different carats of gold. So now you got to determine, first of all, is it authentic? Some of these pieces I just showed you here are counterfeit fake chains. They call them gas station jewelry.
That's what they call gas station jewelry?
Yeah, you know why?
No, why?
Because there's typically a guy sitting at the gas station saying, I need gas, I ran out of gas, I was at the casino, or made up whatever story they're going to come up with. Can you give me, $20? Can you give me $100 on this gold chain so I can get some gas and get home? Then they give them the $20 or the $100. Next thing you know, they walk in here and they try to sell the chain or ask me if it's real. And I always ask them, where'd you get it? And they go, I bought it at the gas station.
Wow.
So we just kind of coined the term gas station gold. And it's really sad because a lot of this stuff, this isn't like costume jewelry. Costume jewelry is purposely made and marked and says gold plated and does all the legal things there. This is marked 14 karat. These are chains that are purposely made to deceive.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Now, you're spending a lot of time in the gold and silver market. Do you have any thoughts of where you think in the coming weeks or months where you think gold could go or silver could go?
You mean my crystal ball?
Yeah. What is your crystal? Yeah,
you want
exactly
Vito?
What I want to
You want Vito's crystal ball? All right. Well, I'll tell you a story right now. When we got into I'm talking about my father and I got into the pawn business and bought Granter's Jewelry and Loan, one of the oldest pawn shops in El Cerrito. Silver was like $1.30 an ounce, and gold was, I believe, $270 an ounce. So if you kind of look at it today and extrapolate where it is today, could it hit that 8,000 mark? I'm going to have to look at the crystal ball, and you're going to have to keep tuning in to find out.
That is 1,000 ounces of silver. Am I right?
This is a 1,000-ounce bar of solid silver. So, I would like for you to come down to Granter Pawn and Showroom, 10056 San Pablo Avenue, and either donate silver to the Solano and Contra Costa County food drive, or bring us some non-perishable goods, please. This time of year is a really, really challenging time for many folks. So our goal is to get this bucket filled 5 times over, and it's going to take the community's help. Please come down to Granter's Pawn and Showroom, 10056 San Pablo Avenue. And if you don't have a 1,000-ounce bar to bring and donate, then bring non-perishable foods to donate.
Any economic factors that might come into play with the gold and silver, or
this? So I think the standard markers have just been blown out of the water, right? With COVID and the government giving out subsidies and just things that have never happened in our lifetimes, right? So it's hard to go back and say, look at these normal indicators that we could base things off of, and put it in today's situation, because it's different. So we can look at them and include them, but there's so many different things that have never happened before that it makes it really weird. Because like you said, typically the stock market's up, the gold market's down. Gold market's up, stock market's down. We're seeing both up, both down, both sideways, just different than it's ever been. So
it's really, that's a great point. I haven't thought of it that way.